years, and I tried the plan 2 years ago, and actually figured out what food was causing migraine headaches and depression. So it's totally changed my life, and I was really desperate before I tried the plan, and I pretty much live this way now because I know that certain things are going to make me miserable, so I just don't consume them anymore. And I really have the same meals that I used to have, it's just substituting for a healthier alternative. So same with Pam, I know that you're going to hear something tonight and maybe change a few things and feel better, so I'm glad you're here to learn more.
And my name is Jen Jellison. I'm part owner of this Snap Fitness, and I'm also a personal trainer. I studied kinesiology and physical education in college, and also sports nutrition. So I've always been drawn to, nutrition, better nutrition for your better body functions. Excuse me. And so I've been a client of Arbonne for 7 or 8 years now. But this program, I decided that I would try it just so that I would have another piece of information to share with my clients, just to better educate myself about this clean eating. And it turned out that the medication that I was on for acid reflux and esophageal spasms, turned out that when I tried this program, I no longer need those medications now. I was taking them in the morning and at night, and I discovered that it was dairy for me that was the trigger. So guess who doesn't have dairy in her diet anymore? And no more ranitidine either, which was my medication. So here I am presenting for the very first time. My heart is racing. But anyway, so welcome to Snap Fitness and welcome to our class. All right, next.
I'll get the. That's okay. I'm on
Wanna
it.
get it? Just tell me when you want me to.
Mine. Yeah, this is you. Yeah, this is me. Okay. All right. So this list of symptoms, issues, I hear daily from one client or another. One of these, two of these, sometimes the majority of these. All of these issues are addressed in this clean eating program. Oftentimes we have some of these things or all of these things. You can kind of look through the list and maybe check off the ones in your mind that affect you. But oftentimes what people do when they suffer from these things is they'll go to their doctor and they'll talk about their symptoms, and then the prescription pad comes out. Well, I learned firsthand that the prescription doesn't necessarily always have to be the answer, because oftentimes those prescriptions will take care of your symptoms, but what are they doing to your liver and to your kidneys? Your body's not able to really recognize those things. So anyway, just quickly going down the list, all of these types of symptoms can be tied in with some sort of food allergy, if not an allergy, maybe just a sensitivity. So we're just going to address some of this stuff as we go through the program. Yeah, as we talk about the plan a little bit more, and maybe you'll discover something about yourself in the process. So, all right.
Okay, so there are 3 ways that toxins can come into our body, and it's through the lungs, skin, and mouth. So can anyone think of something that we breathe in every day that is a toxin that we can't really control?
Exhaust.
Yep. Awesome, that's a big one. Any others can think of? Household cleaners, pollution, any that you can think of for the skin. So our skin is actually our largest organ. What we put on it goes into our bloodstream. There's a lot of chemicals being put into our skincare products, aluminum, parabens, and then lastly, what we eat. So 80% of our overall health is contributed to the food and drinks that we put into our body. So we can't really control the air that we're breathing, but we can control what we're putting on our skin and what we're eating and drinking, and that's what the whole plan is really about. So it's about reducing the toxins coming into our body. So over time, if there's so much toxins coming in, our liver gets backed up, and our body's really smart, and it knows I don't want those toxins near my vital organs, and so it stores it in fat cells. So anything that you consume or absorb that your body can't use as fuel, it treats it like a toxin. And it starts storing it. That's good.
Got it.
Okay, so this plan is an eating plan that you actually could do without using Arbonne's products. It's an anti-inflammatory, low glycemic, pH balanced plan. We're going to bring you from acidic into alkaline. What this slide is about is just talking about the Arbonne product specifically that follows that low glycemic anti-inflammatory eating plan. Okay, it follows all the rules. And what it's saying is the medical field is really looking at this. People who are dealing with any nutrition advice at all, personal trainers, chiropractors, nutritionists. We had a dietitian here a couple months ago. I mean, they're looking for a product line like this because of what we don't have in our product. More and more of their clients are walking in and turning their products over and going, I can't eat this because it has soy in it, or because it has dairy, or because it has artificial sweeteners. And we are free of all of that. We are also free of GMOs, which are really, really critical. But I wanted to just give this little fact. The American Medical Association recently reported that we would need 5,500 calorie diet a day to get the proper nutrition without supplementing. And our protein shake is not just a protein powder, it's got 20 essential vitamins and minerals in it. And then our energy drink has vitamins. It's really, they're amazing products. And then lastly on this page, we talk about pea protein. That's what we are. We are a vegan company. And pea protein is just amazing. It's just yummy, first of all. We're going to have the shakes here for you to try after. But if you've tried a protein shake before, it may have been gritty. You may have found it to cause you bloating. I'd love for you to try these ones because they're really delicious, first off. But the pea protein is so nutrient dense, it is keeps you fuller longer. And we have a woman, she's now a consultant, but I don't know what her actual, do you know what, Julie, is she a physician assistant or is she, I don't know what she does. She works in the cardiology department. And she's been drinking protein shakes her whole adult life. She loves them, but they don't fill her. This was the first protein shake, she said, got her to lunchtime. And I can honestly say when I eat it, I'm not hungry. We've had to tell people, make sure you're eating your lunch. And because I will go, it'll be 2 o'clock and I'm like, oh, I need to eat. Because it really is, I find it very filling. So it's not a liquid diet. I don't want you to think of it like that. There's 20 grams of protein and 20 essential vitamins and minerals in it. So it's whole food nutrition.
Okay, so are you ready to transform? Get ready to look and feel better. I know that everyone that tries this program in the first week, they all report increased energy, which is really my favorite part, and that's what I experienced as well. So I remember the first time that I did the plan, and I literally on the first week, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself. I have so much energy. I feel like a little kid again. So it's really exciting, and you get so much more done. You have energy. And going back to the slide that Ange was just talking about, I actually did a cleanse program with a nutritionist before a few times, and I never got any results. Come to find out later on, I looked back at the products that he was recommending, and they had dairy in them, and that was my issue. So I never linked it, trying it that way. So I'm so grateful that we're dairy-free, gluten-free.
Okay. I love this slide because the simplest way, whenever I would explain this to people, any of my clients, I would say, I want you to think about your great-great-grandparents and the way they used to eat, how they used to purchase their food or grow their food, how they prepared their food how they actually prepared their food for their family. It's really about going back to the way that our food used to be before all of this. Look at this toxic soup. That's a great way to describe what we have. And before I forget, if anyone has kids, oh my gosh, there isn't anything more, okay, because I used to teach. I used to be a teacher here in South Portland. And I have to tell you something. I don't know if we said this, but I don't think any of us were ingredient people or foodie people, or Paul and Julie were for years. They grew their own foods. But I think most of us in this room, maybe not you, Liz, we're the frozen food aisle. We're the conveniences, the modern conveniences. We're the packaged foods that we throw at our kids, okay? So I was also a teacher who had parents that would come in and say, please don't feed my child gluten, or don't feed my child color number, whatever. If you have a special treat, I've got some stuff in the cupboard that you can grab to give them. And I'd politely go, and they'd leave, and I'd go to the teacher's room. I'm just being honest, and be like, I got one of those parents. I've got one of those parents that thinks food and ingredients actually make a difference in the child's ability to think and listen and learn and act. Do you know when you hear that statement, never say never, or don't judge, and blah, 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 blah? That has all come back to just kick me right in the rear end, because they knew something that I was so closed off to. So if you could just really hear when I say that all of this stuff years ago I thought was crazy. I thought people were wasting their money on organic food. And I just like to share that with people, because I want you to know it's true. And I would love nothing more than for parents to understand, well, for all of us to understand for ourselves, but there's too many kids quickly being put into all kinds of doctor's appointments and all kinds of medication and all kinds of things that if someone was just brave enough to say, would you look at or talk to a consultant or listen to or look online or whatever, just to put it in someone's mind that there could be a possibility that some of this toxic soup is affecting their children and themselves, but their children too. So I just like to say that because it's something I'm very passionate about, because I know what kids eat. I see it all the time. But let's go back. What we're doing with this program is really going back to our great-great-grandparents and the way it was before all of these modern conveniences, frozen foods. I can remember when the microwave was the big deal, and that came out, and everything we microwaved, and all those things, the TV dinners, and all that stuff that just changed over the years. Well, it's really wreaking havoc on all of us. So our food is food like food. And all we want you to see is that when you go to pick something up at the grocery store, is this food like food or is this food? And then take it a step further and say, is this GMO? And if you don't know what genetically modified organisms are, it's the majority of our crops for corn and soy. And unfortunately, corn is in everything. Let me tell you some of the things it's in. Peanut butter. Why? I don't know. Dried soups, potato chips, salad dressings, ice cream. It's in everything. It's an added ingredient in everything. And the majority of it is from GMOs. So what would you recommend as a good, I mean, I don't know if you guys watch food documentaries, maybe you might after tonight, but I find that there's so many good food documentaries. What's a good one for GMOs?
The Monsanto one. I can't remember the name of it.
Food Inc.
No. It actually is like Monsanto World or Monsanto.
Oh, it has Monsanto in it. Yeah, I don't, does
Or
anyone
even
know?
Food Incorporated.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Monsanto's the company that has made all this genetically modified food.
And what that means, you guys, is it's just they took the original seed of these plants and they went into a lab and they spliced it and they added in to change the genetic code to add in the pesticides that resist insects, so that when the crops grow, they can still spray the field, but they don't have to use and do the same kinds of things, but they don't lose as much crop because they've used these genetically modified seeds. And so there's been this much research on it, and we're all quite convinced that it's not good for us to have these kind of seeds that we're digesting and are coming into our body. If it's keeping bugs away, what on earth is it doing to our bodies? So, and the other thing is the soy is in everything. It's in it's in most processed foods. So So we get antibiotics through our meat, hormones in our chicken and turkey, pesticides on our vegetables, and preservatives that are in all of our packaged goods. So if you can stop eating that way, stop purchasing packaged products. The other thing that manufacturers love to do is add sugar, salt, and fat, because it's just touching all your senses, and you bite into something and you just want more of it. I'm sure you all know that. If you get on a kick of eating some sugary things, I don't know, donuts, ice cream, whatever it is, it's like you think about it the next day, and you think about it the next day. It's really
You don't
true.
have to think about it, you just go
You
and do
you
it.
just want it again, you don't know why. But I have to tell you something about this program. It may scare you. Clint has the cheat sheet there, and Clint, if you're done, you can hand it
Oh,
maybe
I'm
to
sorry.
this.
I
Oh, don't, no, no, no,
thought that was
no.
my own personalized.
Well, I said to Liz, do you have any more cheat sheets? She's like, oh my God, they're in my room. But don't get, I hope you two didn't go, oh, we're gonna do this. Because if you did, it's okay, we all did it, right? We were formulating how to do the plan and keeping in the things we were gonna keep in. But I have to tell you, we have good alternatives, and it's not scary if you just keep in mind, we're just, for 30 days, allowing your body to go back to the way your great-great-grandparents used to eat. And I think that's all I need to say on this.
Okay, so we get to hit the refresh button. The whole plan is about reducing toxins coming in and increasing the amount of toxins going out. So before I ever even heard of Arbonne, I had heard about a therapy where they were actually curing people of diseases and stuff in Tijuana, Mexico. And their whole thing is that there's two reasons why we get sick, and it's toxicity and deficiency. So we have too much toxins in our body and we don't have enough nutrients. And that's what our plan is all about. It's about getting rid of the built up toxins in our body and giving our body the nutrients that it needs. So we're very fortunate that our program is free. There's other programs out there that are similar to ours that nutritionists are actually charging $100 to $300 for. So I'm really happy that we get to offer ours for free. It's not a starvation diet or fad. I was never hungry when I've done the plan 4 times. I haven't been hungry when I'm on the plan. And it's not a diet at all, it's just a healthier way of eating. And what we do is, so your body can be in a more alkaline or acidic environment. And our food is either more alkaline or acidic. And so the whole program is about filling up on alkaline foods to put our body in that alkaline environment. And we're eliminating all acidic, allergenic, and addictive foods for the 30 days.
The 3 A's, acidic, allergenic, and addictive.
And this is an anti-inflammatory diet. So it's great for people that you know if they're having surgery or joint pain, anything with inflammation, this can really help.
This is the plan that will be emailed to you if you want it to be. Just let the consultant know who invited you. And it has recipes, shopping list, and it has the whole list of foods you can't have and what you can have, and its replacement. Yeah. It shows you what a typical day looks like. Okay. Oh yes, this is my slide. So, before Arbonne, before this came into my life 3.5 years ago, my only understanding of losing weight was never a purpose of getting healthier. I just thought that I had daily headaches because I was a kindergarten teacher, and I had migraines because I was a kindergarten teacher, and I was chronically fatigued for the same reason. And then when I was dealing with dizziness, and like my mom has always had dizziness and vertigo, so that's why I have it. I think a lot of people tend to do that. Blame either hereditary or your situation. When I did the plan completely, everything went away. So this slide, what I want to tell you is what's going on in your body when you are detoxing. And it's really a cool way that we explain it, I think, because to me it made sense when we were explained. They used an analogy of your body as a bathtub. We're going to describe
describe what's going on while we're detoxing by thinking of our body as a bathtub. And the toxins that are coming in through drinks, food, air, and what we put on our skin is the water going into the bathtub. But our drain, our liver, our major detoxifying liver is clogged. And so in a bathtub, when you've got a clogged drain and you keep pouring in the water every day, eventually it's going to overflow. Well, in the body, obviously we don't overflow with toxins, so the body stores it, as Liz said at the beginning of the presentation. So it stores it in fat cells because our livers, just a little bit of toxins are coming out because it's clogged. And it gets stored. And this is what was happening with me. I was on the low-calorie diets, the ones where you count points, you measure, or you just buy meals for a whole week that you microwave. And when you think about what the definition of a toxin is anything your body can't recognize as fuel. I was eating this many toxins and this much fuel all day long. I was drinking diet soda, microwavable foods, and 100-calorie packs. There wasn't anything that came from a plant directly. There, I had carrots. That's a lot. But, so I was mostly eating that, and what was happening is I was starving, really at a cellular level because of that thing. And I was overloading, and so I really became this, what I call, I looked like the Michelin Man. People laugh at me, but it's true. I was building up, what the body does is it puts it in your fat cells, which tend to always be around your organs, so your organs then don't recognize the toxins and push them away. And so we get these big puffy bellies, and I was all puffy here. And when I did this plan, it was amazing the first week how many inches I lost. And if you're looking, first of all, this is a get healthy plan. So if you don't have any weight to lose, you won't lose any weight. Right, Liz? You didn't have any
Same with
weight.
Marla,
Yep.
but Marla identified what caused your migraines.
Migraines and my stomach issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do have weight or inches to lose, it's an awesome side effect of getting healthy. So what we're gonna do on the plan, where am I? So I'm storing, I'm a storage unit now of toxins. And when I did the plan, we have this tea, and this is the one product that I do recommend that you use if you choose nothing else from Arbonne, because this is our detox tea. It's got milk thistle and dandelion in it, and it's a powerful liver and kidney detoxifier. That's going to be your drainer in this analogy. It's going to clean the drain. And once that drain is cleaned, then it just, everything comes out of the body. And the liver will go to your fat storage and bring the toxins out, and also your fat cells out. Oh, if you have filled all your fat cells, go back to the way I was eating, with toxins, your body will produce more fat to store more toxins as you bring it in. So that's something I think about a lot when I think about the way I used to eat. So I did this, I lost almost 4 inches from this area. I mean, I was just shrinking inch-wise. And permanently I've eaten pretty much the plan for 3.5 years. Just a couple things come in once in a while. But this is the way I live my life because I don't have my health problems anymore, and I am 18 pounds lighter than I was when I did this plan. So the plan is going to have us turn the water off, or at least way down, and it's going to have your Drano clean, and then what you're going to put in for 30 days is just fuel. So my whole way of eating has switched to this much fuel and this many toxins. So my body, it works better. Everything works better. My immune system, I'm never sick. I'm not chronically fatigued. And it's just everything is easier for me in terms of weight loss. Does that make sense?
I think I can do the next slide.
Yay.
So one of the things that I talk to my clients about is, have you ever heard the statistic, or I suppose it's a fact, that it takes 21 days to break a habit? So, my clients will work hard with me in the gym, and they'll see some results for a while, and on occasion will come to me with these plateaus, like I just don't feel like I'm losing anymore, or I just kind of feel like I'm at a standstill. So we'll start talking about nutrition a little more, and they'll talk about the things that they just can't give up, and the habits that they can't break. Maybe that glass of wine at night, or the glass of wine or two at night, or just the fact that they drink coffee in the morning from the time they get up until they're absolutely starved at 2 in the afternoon, where they force themselves to have food like food. But they're counting calories, so they think it's okay. Anyway, so 21 days to break a habit. Well, in 30 days on this plan, you can completely not only reverse those bad habits, but you also have all of these great things happen to your body. With me, it was great. I talked about the reflux and the esophageal spasms that used to bring me to my literally hands and knees. But I also, my day starts really early, and a couple of days a week it goes really late. I'm just busy. And on the days that I work split shifts, I find myself going home in the afternoon and just crashing out. I needed a nap. Like a child, I needed to take an afternoon nap to make it through the rest of my day. When I'm being a good girl and following this plan, that's not an issue. I can go 12 hours here in the gym without any problems, and the kids' stuff splashed in the middle with no problem at all. So 30 days, and 30 days to a new you is really the perfect name for this slide. It really does make a difference. So, all right.
These are some great before and afters. We'll just flip through, see a lot of weight loss.
A lot of couples do this together. It's fun to plan.
No
the
pressure.
meals.
I looked at you.
These are from the company. We could have our own. We have a support group online. And did you guys see, I thought we're almost at 700. Yeah. So we could have our own before and after, but we have to share the companies. That's skin. Because your skin is really a mirror to your health. So if you've got issues like eczema or
Acne.
psoriasis, acne, all kinds of things, it's amazing when you do this plan. One of the things that we hear over and over and over again is people say, wow, first of all, I didn't know how happy I would feel, but I don't understand why my skin, looks so much different. This is so cool. And your gut is really, what your skin shows, it's a mirror, it's a reflection to what's going on in your gut. So it isn't, people come up to me and say, Pam, can you give me, I've got this dry spots all over my face, can you give me a lotion for that? And I'm more about, why don't we fix whatever's going on inside your gut that's causing that than just putting a lotion on top of it. And sometimes it's the first time they've made that connection that a skin, and that goes for wrinkles too, by the way. That skin issues are a reflection of what's happening inside.
I noticed it today. I have
This one makes no sense.
Yep.
It
There's-
doesn't
there's no
happen
before.
I
They're
didn't
transformed.
put it.
Well, there's a guy in my networking group who's doing the program right now, and he's on his second week, and I saw him this morning, and I noticed his skin was so much clearer, and it wasn't dry. And I even told him that, I'm like, oh my gosh, have you noticed that your skin looks like really clear, it's not dry? And he's like, you didn't really pay attention, but I'm like, I noticed, a big difference.
I have a client who had some issues with his teeth and his gum health, and he did this plan and for every other reason but that. But he went in for a checkup and came back to me and said, my gums are even healthier. My doctor commented on how healthy my gums were and how he noticed that his breath was fresher. And so it really does, what goes on in here really does just affect all sorts of aspects of your body.
In your palate, your taste, that will change. The first time I tried some of the products, not all of them, but the first time I tried, the nutrition bars and fizz, I was like, how am I ever going to sell this? I don't know if I can drink this. I don't know if I can eat this. But as you do this plan and you're detoxing, doesn't it make sense? I mean, it kind of makes sense now. But at the time, like, why do these fizz sticks taste so good? And why do I just love these nutrition bars now?
And it's because it does change. You will, kale chips, I can't even imagine, I love kale chips. I mean, we make them all the time, but I would have never in a million years ever said, I'm craving. It doesn't make any sense, but I love them now. It's
Or
just
cauliflower.
cauliflower.
Okay, so this slide is, we've kind of talked about, I just want to say one more thing, it's about nutrient-dense food and fueling your body. But have you ever eaten a whole bag of chips and then felt hungry or something like that? When I was on my old plans, I would choose, because you could according to the plan, if I had 6 points left, I could have 2 Weight Watchers ice cream sandwiches for dinner, and I would eat them instead of real food. I know I'm not the only person that does that. You're all looking at me like.
I could just have dinner and then eat the sandwich and go over on my points, but anyway.
So I would be starving, because obviously I was starving myself at a cellular level. So this is not what you're going to do. You're going to see such a difference when you actually feed your cells. Well, I love the visual, and it's on that cheat sheet, which I love to give my clients when they do this program, because, let me grab it for you, because I don't think you've seen it, Tricia. Thank you. I just think it's easy to look at and kind of refer to. But look at the plate. You are going to this is how you're going to eat every meal. And here's the great thing. If you do a shake, you can do the plate in your shake. Now, I don't mean throw chicken in there. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? The protein portion of your shake is the protein powder, okay? So 1/4 of your plate is protein. In your shake, the fiber booster, which is a tasteless fiber, it doesn't gel, that counts as your vegetable, okay? Or you can, some people add kale or spinach to theirs. 1/8 of your shake can be a good carb. So one of the things that I do in the morning is I like to have strawberries, organic strawberries in mine. So that's 1/8 of my shake, okay? And then 1/8 of the shake is the good fat. So I can throw in some almond butter, avocado, whatever, any of those. Do you see how your shake becomes the plate, but in the shake, okay? So if you just look at every time you go to eat, that you're following this. And I love how half the plate is green veggies. If you've seen the plate that they show at schools for the kids, you're familiar with the five?
I'm actually using this one now, but I know the other one. Abby, my daughter's in 7th grade in South Portland school system, and they've switched over.
No kidding. Do they have
No.
dairy or do they have water?
They still have the milk. They haven't
Oh.
switched over the milk from milk
Okay.
to the water.
Well, in a school system,
Government funded.
they teach, and a lot of others, this healthy plate, and it's all over packaged goods now. Because they're they're trying to do is show parents how this meets the healthy plate. So they have half of the plate fruit, a quarter of the plate fruit, a quarter of the plate vegetables. And then they have a quarter of the plate, the protein, and then the grain is the other. So they kind of cut it in half, okay? This is different. Half the plate is your vegetable. And then you have a quarter of your plate protein, and then you split that quarter between the carbs and the good fat. So look at the carbs. Brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes, beets, carrots, green apples, berries. Does that make sense? I think that simplifies it and it helps you. People, when they do this plan, if they're looking for weight loss and they're not seeing their results, we often as consultants say, talk to me about your plate. And that's usually when it's revealed where there's a problem, because they're probably putting more carbs and more protein and not
It's
enough
like
of.
the pyramid, the old pyramid,
Yeah.
it's all carbs.
Yep.
and-
And those are all low glycemic carb options. That's why we do brown rice, not white rice. All right, so what how Arbonne can help is our products follow all these rules, but we want to talk on this slide about why no gluten, why no dairy, all that, okay? Gluten. Has anyone ever tried to eliminate gluten before in the room? Yeah. Okay. Did you notice a difference in anything?
I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. It's too hard. Well, we can talk after
Do you
if
mean
you want.
you didn't like the taste of the options?
Correct. Yeah, okay. We know some good ones. Yeah. We
I've
can,
gotten much better now again. This was before.
yeah.
That's the
Before
hard part when
this.
you don't know like what
Yeah.
brands and all.
I bought a gluten-free bread at like $8 a loaf it was offensive when I put it in my mouth. I had to spit it out, so I know what you're talking about, but we can help you with that, because we've been eating gluten-free forever, and I know the good ones. And I think that brand's probably even gotten better, because I'm sure they didn't sell much.
It's better toasted too. Even a really bad loaf will taste better toasted. I've had some bad loaves. And you spend $8 a loaf, so you don't want to throw it away. So just toast it all.
Okay, so gluten is found in wheat, rye, and barley. We do recommend gluten-free oats because of the process, and they usually process oats in the same factory on the same machinery as wheat, barley, and rye. So there are gluten-free oats if you want to choose that, because there's cross-contamination a lot in oats. Gluten, it's just unbelievable. All the things that people have tied to this, a lot. I'll tell you the top ones: digestive issues and joint pain. Those are the ones I hear all the time. All right, dairy. We're going to split this up like we did last night, because dairy's a big one. And I'm just going to talk about one fact I find really interesting. 50 years ago, an average cow produced 20 pounds of milk a year. But today, the average cow produces in excess of 50,000 pounds a year. And obviously, this hasn't been done naturally. Do you know why? Anyone know why? The hormones, yes, the BGH. And because they're given so much of this, they're producing massive amounts of milk. They're being pumped, and they're getting infections. Therefore, way more antibiotics are going in, and everything that comes through their meat or their milk, cheese, yogurts, everything, we are getting it. So, I want to talk about countries with the highest consumption of dairy. They have the highest rates of osteoporosis. And dairy, because this is the reason that we were taught, dairy is extremely acidic. And when it goes in the body, your body wants to balance that out so it leaches calcium from the bones. And did you know that cows don't even naturally produce calcium? It's from the plants they eat. So what we didn't teach, I was a kindergarten teacher for 15 years, and never in the curriculum information did we teach children that you can get calcium from other sources. We taught that they got calcium from dairy. And every time they did their little breakfast, and the month of March is Nutrition Month, and we would say, what did you have for breakfast? And we'd look it over and go, oh, Johnny, you didn't have any dairy for breakfast. Could you tomorrow possibly have some yogurt? Or that was our curriculum, okay? Starting at kindergarten, and it's the one free curriculum you get in public school. That's it. We all pick it up is anyone a teacher in here? It was amazing now that I think about it all. Okay, so a cup of broccoli has more calcium than a cup of cow's milk. And a cup of almond milk has more calcium than cow's milk, okay? So just do your own research. It's out there. It's incredible. For me, when I started learning this, it's like this door opened up and the information came flooding in, and I found it very interesting. But we can talk about casein now. Yeah, I find it fascinating. There's a protein in milk. Oh, first of all milks have casein in it. Some people call it casein. But even human milk. However, our babies have the ability to break that down, okay? So cow's milk has casein in it, and it has a very high percentage of casein in the protein.
casein is so sticky, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this story. The fact that it's sticky is important. Because what it's doing is every time you have, and it's most concentrated in cheese, every time you have something with dairy, so whether it's a salad dressing, it's cheese, it's drinking the milk itself, whatever it is, it's got that sticky protein in it. Well, in your small intestine, it's lined with little villi. They look like little hairs, okay? And those villi are responsible for grabbing all of your nutrients that you're eating, and obviously, we want our body to grab and absorb nutrients. Unless, of course, we're eating garbage, we don't care, but I think if you eat a salad, you would like it to be absorbed and it was good for you. And so what's happening is those little villi are getting stuck. They're like, they're doing their job, and then this dairy comes down, and it's like a glue stick sticking it to the sides of your intestinal wall. So now you have an intestine that is not working at its full capacity because those little hairs are stuck to the side of the wall. I always make visuals in my body, but it's like they're just stuck, and they can't do what they're supposed to do. And what always cracks me up, and when I read this information, I was like, years ago, it was the #1 ingredient in all glues, whether it was glue to stick flooring down or glues for household use or school use. And I keep picturing my little kindergartners that used to eat their little glue sticks, and because it was, for whatever reason they would do that, and I'd grab it away from them. But I picture it now with dairy for some reason, because that casein, so many milk companies turned to glue companies because of that ingredient and the profitability of it. So that's why, like on Elmer's glue, you see the little cow, Elmer the cow, glue company. And so when I read about this information, the reason why I was starting to, this is before I did the detox, was because my doctor, I was so anemic, and she gave me iron supplement and said, do not take that with any dairy, ever, when you take it. If you want that to absorb, you can't take it with dairy. I was like, I must have been bored. And I went home and I researched why, and this is where I learned about our little villi. And so what happens is it actually inhibits the ability to absorb. It's like a coating, and then it's sticking those poor little hairs up. So when you give your body a break from dairy, you're giving your intestinal wall a break, and it allows those little hairs to finally come off the sides of the wall, and they start absorbing and helping your body to absorb all these nutrients. And that's why people feel energized. That's why people feel this increase of mood, and because they finally are repairing their intestinal wall, their gut. So I encourage you to really look at that, because we're not the Oprah Winfreys of the meat industry by standing up here saying never eat dairy again. You're going to fall on one side of that or the other. All we want to do is give you the information, and so you understand part of why this could really be a link to some issues you're having with your body. And I don't know, Liz, do you want to say anything else about that? I don't know if I missed anything.
Well, doing your own research on the side too is always helpful, and Forks Over Knives is a really good documentary. Has anyone in here seen it? No? Yeah, it's really, really good, and they go into the scientific facts about why it's bad and why we shouldn't be consuming it. We're actually the only mammals on this planet that consume milk from another mammal. We're the only ones. So, and the casein that Pam was talking about is very, very addictive. It actually goes to the pleasure center in our brain and acts like an opiate, and it makes us feel happy and relaxed, and so we like it. But when you look at the facts, it's not good. So that documentary is actually based on the book, The China Study, which was a huge cross-cultural study that they did, and looked at these cultures where they didn't have dairy and comparing it to all these other ones that did, and all these just different ways that they were eating, and really figured out what we need as humans and what we shouldn't consume. So, and he proved it with studies with rats, giving them casein was 20% casein, and the tumor growth would go up, and then they bring it back down to 5, and it would stop. And then bring it back up again and give it 20% casein, and the tumor would grow even more. And then bring it back down, and it would stop. So he proved it with scientific evidence. So if you're kind of trying to figure out where you fall, watching that documentary would help.
Okay, and we do not have soy. Soy actually is very acidic. It's difficult to digest, but there's phytoestrogens in it that mimic estrogen in your body. So drinking 2 glasses of soy milk daily for 1 month has enough of this chemical to alter a woman's menstrual cycle. And a study with male lab rats indicated that young males exposed to soy have noted lower fertility rates than those who were not exposed to soy. So we just avoid it, and plus they're GMOs. Okay.
So are we gonna pass around the samples while we talk about the products you think? Yeah?
Oh, I missed one, okay. Yeah, so have you guys tried any of the Arbonne shakes yet? You have? Not yet? Well, today's your day to try it. We have vanilla and chocolate.
Strawberry and chocolate,
Oh,
actually.
Oh,
Sorry.
so what did you make? Why don't you tell
I made
us?
2 scoops of vanilla protein powder, 9 ounces of unsweetened almond milk, and a handful of frozen, I washed my hands, handful of frozen strawberries, and you just blend it up. And it's my favorite.
And then the chocolate one is?
It's just the 9 ounces of almond milk, 2 scoops of chocolate powder, and ice.
Oh, good, okay. So what I love, my daughter drinks these. I always feel like I want to give myself a high five when she does, because 22 essential vitamins and minerals. Plus she puts a fiber in that counts again as the vegetable. I feel like there's armor around her when she walks out the door to go into the germ-infested school. And it's artificial sweetener free, and she loves it. When she first started drinking these 3 years ago, she was like, I can't believe my mom's letting me drink chocolate shakes in the morning. She thought it was the greatest thing. But she went from eating Eggo waffles with butter and fake syrup. See how I bought? And hey, you know what? That's in your freezer. I'm not judging. I get it. Totally get it. But she ate that stuff every day, and then she was hungry like, an hour and a half later, an hour later. Plus, really, there was nothing really in it. So look at all the wonderful things that are in it.
We drank them every day.
Okay. Anybody want to try the chocolate?
And a lot of times people, and I don't know, Jen, if you can address this, if you are a workout person and you're worried about, oh, it's a vegan protein, I'm not going to get all my profile, what do they call it?
Amino acids.
Huh?
Amino acids.
Yeah, all of that. I hear it all the time, and I'm always like, I don't know. I just know that it's equivalent, okay? So don't worry, just because it's a vegan protein doesn't mean that you're going to be falling deficient in that. And Jen, do you ever address that?
I do. I have individuals who are stuck on their whey protein.
Yes.
So I've gotten into the casein conversation with them. It just essentially, if you're going to have the protein shake, don't you want to choose a nice clean protein where you don't have all the other stuff, negative things that come along with those. And also, a lot of those have artificial sweeteners.
Right. See, that's so good. And this, can I just say why we're so relevant? Because if you know gym owners, chiropractors, and other people who recommend these kinds of protein powders, listen, we're not saying take the protein powders that you have off your shelf and stop telling your customers to try it. All we're saying is give Arbonne a chance, because people are looking for dairy-free, soy-free, whey-free, artificial-free products, and this is just more. You're able to offer that. It's another option for you, and that's why I think we've had such an increase of interest from chiropractors and other doctors and gym owners, because they do need another option. Because guys, we're all getting smarter. And people are saying, now wait a minute, let me look at those ingredients. Oh, I can't have soy, I can't have this. Or whatever. I mean, I think that that's
Protein
why
bar.
we've had such an increase, because our products are so relevant. And you've tried the homemade protein bars? Think of your kids right now. Seriously, wouldn't they want those?
Okay, one more thing.
Oh, that one's a really good one.
This is a chocolate, made with chocolate. It's a protein ball.
So these are fun little things that you can make with the protein powder. You can add whatever you want as long as it's the detox-friendly ingredients. What Ange and I do, and I'm sure you guys do too, we make them up and then we put them in little snack baggies and throw them in the freezer. And that is, we all grab from that and throw in our lunch and we run out for the day. So there's always these healthy options for our kids and for us to eat. Yeah.
And so I made these, the first time, they came out very well. And then the second time I made them, they were a crumbly mess. I couldn't
Oh,
keep
yes.
it warm. So I wasn't gonna throw them away. It's expensive ingredients.
Right?
So they taste great as a little top in your oatmeal. Like granola. And also on a rice cake, a little almond butter.
Oh,
You sprinkle it
wow.
on there and it's like a little dessert.
That is so smart.
You know what? You just made a new option, a protein crumble.
Protein crumbles.
You know,
Some
we have
apples.
great tips
on
about the crumbling protein bars too, because we too have had a protein bar
About
that crumble.
The balls or the bar?
Any of those recipes
The
could
ball
crumble
ones,
on you,
yeah.
but we can tell you some tips on how not to have it crumble.
It actually happened to me today, because I made the energy balls yesterday for an event, and I just made up the ones I needed for yesterday, and then I had left all the crumbliness in the bowl and stuck it in the fridge, and then I realized, oh, I need to make more for tonight, and it was like that, and it wasn't staying together, so I added more almond butter and more brown rice syrup and just mixed it around.
Try that.
And see, let me tell you something, that active detox group that we have, people go, help, you know,
Yeah.
I've got a crumbly protein bar recipe, what do I do? And you'll have 10 replies, like everyone's tips, so it's a live active group.
So this is our fiber, and Pam already talked about it a little bit. It's tasteless, odorless. You can add it to pasta sauces. You can add it to anything that you're making, and you can also add it to the shakes. I add it to my energy fizz sticks because it's my lazy snack. I literally take half a scoop, throw it in my fizz stick, and mix it around because it's filling. So I did that this morning. I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the middle of a meeting. I was like, oh, I'm not going to eat anything this early.
Hi.
Heather. And so that's a great little thing too, I feel.
And if your kids need extra fiber, they're never gonna even know it's in there. It's not
it's
gonna
in the
gel.
energy ball.
You could put it in water and they'll never know.
Yep. And so it won't gel up, and
Smart.
we're supposed to have 25 to 30 grams of fiber a day, and the average American is eating 15. So one scoop of this fiber is half of your daily recommended serving.
Okay, we're on to the fizz. Oh, we could just,
Okay.
thank you. Here we go. Remember just remember the first time I tried these, I was like, so if you have the little zing, know that it gets a little bitter. It gets to the point where you can't be without them. But they come in these little packages like this. For those of you that are coffee drinkers, this is very important to have. Did anyone feel the zing when you drank it? Oh, that was just me. Probably because I was a Diet Pepsi drinker. I don't know. I just was like, woo. But I love them now. Look at all the things that it helps you with. I love the rhodiola. It improves mood. B vitamins in it. We have green tea, guarana. And you know what, you are in control of how potent you want it. I have a consultant who, it's got to be 32 ounces. She puts one fist stick into 32 ounces. That, I laugh at. Because I need, it's got to be minimum, it's got to be between 8 to 10 ounces to my fist stick. Because this is what got me off my diet soda. So I actually use it as my healthy, natural caffeine. So for you if you're a big coffee drinker and you're wondering, oh, how am I going to do this? This is your answer. And in the morning, you can make a detox tea and put some fizz in there. We call it a tizzy.
Oh.
And it's a great way to get your natural caffeine with that warm, habit that you have of holding your warm cup or mug or whatever.
And it is a great replacement for coffee. It doesn't give you the jittery, you don't get the crash like you will with coffee. It's really good.
I work with some young girls, and they might have some hangovers. And they come in and they're like, Pam, where's your fizz stick? And they're convinced that that's the miracle worker. So that's someone's problem in your life, you can let them know about our fizz stick.
This is our detox tea. This is the Drano that Ange talked about for our liver. In the first week on the program, you want to have the tea twice a day. And then after the first week, you can have it once or twice if you want it twice a day. So just the first week to really just flush out your liver. And you can have it hot or cold. It's a great iced tea too.
And this is the tea I was talking about that you could add fizz to. Some people, when they drink it, think, especially if you're a big herbal tea person, you're kind of wanting a little more punch to it. I was never a tea person to begin with, so the first time I drank it, I actually liked it, and I still like it, so.
You can add the fizz, did you say?
Yep.
I have a question about
Hi.
the tea.
Yes.
I was in your last month's class, and I had bought some at the grocery store, some of the detox tea, but one of the things that it does not have in it is the thistle.
Yeah.
Which is the
What-
main
Which is
ingredient.
huge.
Well,
what does thistle do that the other teas don't? Well, I find it in some of the other teas. I haven't found thistle in any of the detox teas that are out in the grocery stores.
It's actually known to be a liver and kidney detoxifier. So if you were to listen to people like Dr. Oz, the doctors, those kinds of shows, that they talk a lot about milk thistle as being a key detoxifier. So you really do need that ingredient.
So why the others don't put it in it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in the native,
Yeah.
that's in the native cultures, medicines.
Herbal. Yep. It's important to have that. Alrighty. Marla, I think we're ready to.
Did you talk about Digestion Plus?
Oh!
I interrupted her.
I Sorry. I love Digestion Plus. If you need to repair your gut, which most of us do, this is key. And I can tell you, look at all the wonderful benefits that it provides. My daughter and I had the stomach flu back in February, and I had to talk to her. I was like, listen, right now you have an army of germs in your stomach that are taking over. And I want you to take this supplement, because it's a powder. Now she's 13, and she's like, I'm ready to be sick here. You want me to do what? And I wanted her to take this powder, because I explained to her, and this is how I explain it to you. It's like a Pac-Man inside your gut, and it's bringing the good bacteria in. This is, it has prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes. And so when they get into, it survives the digestive tract, all the acid, gets down to where it needs to go to work. And it's the good bacteria that's going to eat away at the bad bacteria, like a Pac-Man. And I don't know what it was, that helped her, and she's like, all right, I'll do it. I'll take the Digestion Plus. And she did, and we both, within 10 minutes, it just made you feel less nauseous, just better. It's such a support for your stomach. On top of all of that, if you're just through your whole process in the month, your body is going through so much detoxification, and your biggest goal is to repair your gut. And remember, I told you what not having milk is going to do and all that. Well, this is going to help heal the gut. And it's such a very, it is, people call it their best friend. They don't go anywhere without it. Because if you are someone that suffers from acid reflux, from any kind of bloating, gas, any kind of discomfort, this is better than taking Pepsid or Tums or whatever. Just want to add anything? Jen and I share the esophageal spasms that are very, very painful, and this will take care of it. But it's just going to what's the actual, how do we say, it, correct the flora. And when that happens, when you replenish the good flora, then everything works better. And 80% of your immune system is in your gut and your, what's the other one, guys? Serotonin.
Serotonin.
So that's why people in the slide that Jen was reading from will report, I am sleeping better, I'm happier, I have everything, feel better, my immune system's working better, yeah. So this stuff is important. I will say it is the product that I have a nightcap every night before I go to bed, because when I lay down, that's when that
Of
can
this.
tend to happen for me.
You have a
And
night-
then this is what I have before I go to bed.
I didn't know if they thought you meant
And
alcohol.
Oh, I enjoy that.
What do you mix, like, how do you take it then?
I
What's the
put it,
powder?
that's a great question. You don't want to put it in anything hot. I put it in just a little bit of water, or I'll put it directly on my tongue. You don't want to put it in your shake, because it'll start working at, the digestive enzymes will start, it'll liquefy the shake. It'll just be really watery. But that's the best way to
But
take it.
it's a powder? Not-
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't need to be refrigerated, so makes it real convenient for people like Jen and I who have symptoms that can happen anytime.
So is it like a spoonful that you're taking, or?
It's in a
It's a little
packet, we have it
packet.
right
Okay.
there,
Okay.
yeah. And I put it right on my tongue. Anyone on Prilosec, this is something that I have so many clients who, this is what they use instead when they have their symptoms, and it's really good.
It's also, probably TMI, but, it's also, it helps with premenstrual syndrome, your, women that suffer from gas and bloating and just cramping and stuff. I can attest to that. It just makes me more comfortable.
This helps people's nails, hair, skin, you know. Yeah.
Nails, and when I'm gluten-free, unless I go to a restaurant and I make a mistake and eat bread. And then I get the stomachache from gluten, so that's what I go for.
That's what you reach for? My dog is using this product for her skin, and it works. All right, we can't say enough about it. We're gonna be real quick, because we're a couple minutes over when we started, and we wanted to get done in an hour. This is our 7-day body cleanse. This goes along in the program in the packet that you can get emailed, this one. It talks about doing, so there's 7 that come in that packet. You could do 2 the first week, 2 the second week, 2 the third week, and then the last one in the last week. Basically, you pour this little package, it's about this high, into a 32-ounce bottle of water, shake it up, and then drink it throughout the day, and you match it with 32 ounces of water. You're not gonna have to live in the toilet, you don't have to like worry about stuff like that. But, you know, if you want to do it on a day that you're not gonna be like really active and exercising and doing stuff like that, I would suggest just to see how your body reacts. But another great way to take care of your GI tract and just your colon health, and it does draw out toxins.
And that's one of the products that when you first take it, it's disgusting when you drink it, although not as bad as some others. But then by that 5th day, actually, like, oh, it's actually not so bad.
Yeah,
It tastes
good.
Yeah.
So
When did you do it? Because they reformulated it.
just a couple months ago.
Oh, no, so
actually.
you've tasted it. You've tasted a better version. You should have tried it a
I
couple
had it in
years
my
ago.
classroom and had the kids like watch me
I love
like
it.
count as I'm having them drink it. Like I had the big thing, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to get to this much, and so I'd have them like count how long. It was like a big joke.
Okay.
Good.
So it's a vitamin D spray and B12. This is great. It's easy, convenient, and will help with metabolism and energy.
Tastes good too.
You just do, it's a spray, so you just do like 3 sprays twice a day.
And we're just going through all the products so you can get an idea and decide how you want to build your own program. Okay, because everyone has different needs, but we can flip through
Can I
this.
just ask a quick question about the spray? Do you spray it under your tongue? Is that?
Oh yeah, you're supposed to hold it in your mouth for 20 seconds.
Okay, so, okay.
Yeah. You can spray it on it. It goes
I
under.
just, for some
as you're
reason, I
holding
thought
it.
you had to do it.
Keep going.
Oh.
Flip through.
I think we could just, yeah, just skip there and we'll do the next one. Oh, that's me, okay. So what you're gonna do is just decide when you wanna start. Oh, you know what we didn't say? Sorry.
One of the things that we didn't say is that sometimes people hear this information and go, hoy, this is too much. Talk to the person who invited you here and let's see what isn't too much for you. Because we've had so many clients who've done partial and then finally decided to do the whole thing. So don't be like, it's either all or nothing. Talk to your consultant, let's see what's gonna work best for you. Of course, we would all love you to just do it because we want you to have such great health and feel really good. But there is a middle ground if you need to have that. Let us know if you want to join the Facebook group. We're ready to add you to that. I love it when people decide to do this plan. They're like, okay, I'm eating all of my cheese this week, or whatever it is. Decide what it is and clear out those temptations. Get your family involved. Don't even tell your kids. Don't tell them, because they might not know. I don't think they'll notice. We instantly started changing over our food. Now, yes, our daughters were like, where's the cheese? And what is this? So they did notice that. But we made meals that we used to make just this way, like Liz was saying at the beginning, and they didn't know the difference. They eat it, they love it, and you can see benefits. I've had clients that have done this with their husband and their kids, and remember Julie was like, oh my gosh, my son Cameron has lost all these inches in weight. He's like, I don't even know what's going on. But I look great. He's like 18 years old. And she's like, oh gosh. It's because she was giving him a shake in the morning and changing their meal at night. She didn't know what he was doing in the middle of the day. But she's like, look at the results of him not even doing full. But do you see what I'm saying? What am I saying? Oh, you want to measure. I always say, measure everything and write it down, because it's so fun. Because if the scale doesn't move, you'll see the inches come on. Take before and after pictures even of your skin. And then here's the other thing, you guys. If you're like freaking out in the grocery store and saying, I have no idea what to buy, contact your consultant. All of us have gone to the grocery store. I mean, I'm not joking. If someone is like, I can't find what you're talking about, I've said, let's pick a day, I'll walk through the grocery store. We've got those grocery stores down. We know Hannaford. Hannaford's great for organic options. We can help you.
I wanted to just say about the Facebook page. This is huge. It's a huge support system. If you're in the grocery store looking for nutritional yeast and you can't find it, you can write on there, where do I find it? And I will tell you, with 700 people in the group, you're going to instantly get an answer. We've had people at Whole Foods taking pictures. Is this what it is? And put it in the Facebook page, and people will answer them. It is an instant support, and your consultant can be there too. But it's really, I'm really proud of that Facebook page, and it's all, you'll know people because they're all people from around here that are in it. It's closed, so if you were to write a question, your news feed is not going to see it. Everything in there is private. People are sharing amazing testimonials about what medications are off, what they've discovered at the doctors, and how they feel and what weight they're losing. And we just share recipes. So someone will say, someone just made coconut shrimp and sweet potato fries and shared that. That got a lot of interest. And we just share recipes that follow the plan. What they have right there is just a typical day, if you wanted to see what a day might look like on this plan. If you're using the Arbonne product, you can certainly in the morning make your cage-free egg and vegetable scramble. For lunch, you could have a salad, an organic salad with your clean meat or your clean protein, or you can have the shake. Okay, so it's just, you decide what you want to do. And if you guys have any questions about this, we can answer them. You can switch it, yeah. And we can show you how to save money. Almost everyone who purchases Arbonne, they choose to do the $20 membership that gives them 20% off to 80% off all year.
and it's not something you have to shop from, you shop when you want. So there's a way for you to get a free product with that, your consultant can let you know. But all we're doing for our clients is we're teaching them new habits. I have clients who have a shake every single day for breakfast, and they've been doing that for 3 years. It's just instead of driving to Starbucks, which was their old habit, or Dunkin' Donuts, they're now eating a nutrient-dense, low glycemic, anti-inflammatory meal for breakfast, okay? So it's really a cool thing. Does anybody have any questions at all? No? Okay.
I have a question about beans. What about like pinto beans?
Yes.
Those are organic, those are fine?
Yes. Yep, all the beans.
I think Jen had printed this off, detox friendly foods, so different brands, if you wanna look at that. Follow it.
And if you have any more questions, we're here for you. And we also have some more things over here. I don't think we sampled everything.
Oh, that's right.
Still have some